everybody. So I'm just getting my decks cleansed so I can start doing some readings. I have to put them all back together. Oh, what is that? Look, the Lovers at the bottom of the deck. So I'm putting all my decks back together, listening to this sound healing frequency of 888, which is abundance. It came out today for a private reading. I did a personal Tell Me Everything spread, and the healing card that came out for them was this card, Ishtar's Lionsgate 888. And so I found a playlist for that, and I'm just using that right now to cleanse all of the lack consciousness. I think the lack consciousness in the twin flame journey is the thing we battle the most. Doubt, lack consciousness. And so I'm just shuffling my decks and getting ready to read. Thanks for joining me. And I'll tell you how to get a personal reading in just a few, but if you just want to sit with me and get centered while I'm shuffling these decks and listen to this frequency with me. I'm feeling a lot of crown pressure, not just from my ponytail. It's interesting that I wear my hair like that now. Like that, right at my crown, sort of the energy. No, I don't have, I'm not doing any free readings today, just paid readings, and I'll do a collective reading. But if you'd like free readings, you can find my YouTube channel, and there's hours and hours of donated readings there for you to peruse. Also, you can answer yes or no questions with very simple and straightforward practices of your own, and your own intuition is always more valuable than someone else's. So there's a lot of different methods for answering yes or no questions. You can, if you have a deck of cards, you can assign yes, no, maybe different meanings to the suits of the cards. Even if you just have a playing cards, a deck of playing cards, you can do that. You can flip a coin. You can do muscle resistance questioning on your own body, which is where you, the one that I know of is you form the okay sign, and then don't be childish, but you ask yourself a question, and if it's a no, your finger won't break through, and if it's a yes, your finger will break through. And as you practice this intuitive motion, it's much more effective for answering yes or no questions than asking someone else. So you can try those methods. But I will do a little, very short collective reading in just a moment. But I'm just cleansing all of my decks right now and getting centered. Personal readings are going to be $22 or $33 today. And if you would like a personal reading for $22 or $33, click the link in my profile. There's PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo, and just pay there, and let me know your question in the comments and how much you paid so I know how many cards to pull for you. Either a 2 position or a 3 position with 2 or 3 oracles. Alright, so I have decks ready to go for when people are wanting readings. And I'm going to start a collective reading, so I would love to ask you to share this with a friend that you think might actually want to watch. Channel is a really great way to support me for these free collective readings that I'm doing. And if you share it with somebody you know will benefit from the messages, it will help me authentically grow, so that it's not just, like meaningless shares, but like people who you think would actually want to hear my messages and feel that they would benefit from them. I would appreciate that so much. And I've decided to start using my selenite during sessions, just because I'm having some activity in my room. And it's nothing like, it's not negative energy, but it's probably, sometimes I feel like I get like guides or ancestors left that are trying to give me messages, and I only want to get messages when I'm open for business. So I'm going to be you're going to see me using the selenite wand more, just kind of clearing out other people's energy. And I'm going to start regularly using sound frequencies during my readings too, to protect and amplify. So I'm adding that to my practice. I do those things off camera, but I feel like it's important to include it in my process. So you'll be seeing more of me, because it's more authentic to me to do those things. So this is going to be just a little collective energy in, and I think I'm going to pull a White Light Oracle card too as a treat with a meditation. My music just stopped playing for a moment. It's probably my internet connection, which can be wonky if anyone else is using it. So, all right, we're definitely going to have to increase our bandwidth this summer for sure. Hi, Kyle. How are you? Everybody go follow Dr. Kyle. She's calling me a beautiful soul, but it's only because we're a mirror. And she's doing some really amazing things. An amazing healer. So please go follow Dr. Kyle right there. And I'm about to just do a collective energy check-in. I'm just going to ask those 4 positions that I've been doing lately, and I'm only actually going to use one deck for them right now. And so we're just going to find out anything vital we need to know today is the first position. Any specific theme or a thing we should be concerned with. And then for anyone who would like to book a reading, the way that this works is you click the link in my profile, send $22 or $33 for a 2 or 3 position spread with a minimum of 8 cards and 1 or 2 oracles. I'm sorry, 2 or 3 oracles rather. And then let me know in the comments how much you are paying, so I know how many cards to draw and what your question is, and if you want me to use your name, what your name is. But for now, I'm just going to do this collective reading first. And the link in my profile has Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal as well. So it accepts basically all credit cards. The first position is something vital we needed to know. The next position is what is the energy of this connection? So the connection between the masculine and feminine parts of self, the head and heart, and the masculine and feminine energy expressing in relationship. What's the energy right now of the divine masculine? And what's the energy, I like that. And what's the energy of the divine feminine? Okay. Resonates. So I don't know if any of you were here at my earlier reading, but it looks like some of you took some of the advice, because we've shifted the energy for the feminine and the masculine and the connection. So let's take a look at it. The first thing that we need to know, the piece of advice, this thing that is really vital. Oh, thank you for the roses and the likes, by the way. I do appreciate that. Is the 7 of Pentacles. Now, this was the theme for the Tell Me Everything spread I did for a private reading today from the Thoth Tarot. So I already talked about this card, and I talked about it in a different context, because that card actually from the Thoth Tarot has the word failure written at the bottom, which is an interesting thing to associate with the Seven of Pentacles. And traditionally, I associate this card with abundance because the harvest is ready to be harvested. You've planted seeds, you've taken care, you've tended to them, you've nourished them, you've made sure that everything is in place, and now it's time to harvest. But it is a card associated with patience because it took time, patience, love, skill to bring your fruits to harvest, so to speak. But then I thought about the word failure written at the bottom of the card, and I realized that there are a lot of times that in the material that we can plant our seeds and tend to our fields and do everything that we were supposed to do, and something in the environment can disrupt our ability to harvest. The weather, pests that come from literally divine sources, right? I'm thinking of like plagues of locusts, etc. There are things that are out of our control that may affect our ability to harvest what we have planted. And when that happens, we can choose to see this as a failure of our own and be diminished, or we can choose to see it as divine and feel how we can handle any burdens placed upon us, and know that there was something about us receiving that harvest at that specific time that would not have served our best interests. Maybe we wouldn't have pushed ourselves to go as far as we can go. Maybe we wouldn't have looked for something more in connections with others than we were looking for before. Maybe we wouldn't have known our own worth or recognized our own hard work in some way. Maybe we would have taken the harvest for granted. And so we cannot always know why we aren't able to see the fruits that we've planted come to bear the way that we've expected them to. But you have to have faith that the tender, nurturing care you gave is a karma, and it returns a positive karma to you, even if it is in an unexpected way. And this is a way that you can be granted patience. Hello, thanks for joining. So that's the bit of vital information that you need in the collective today. For those that have just joined, I'm doing a collective reading right now. If you would like your own personal reading, I'm doing readings for, I forgot to say, $11, $22, or $33. So $11 is a minimum of 6 cards, 22 is 8 cards, 33 is 10 cards, and I add 1, 2, or 3 oracles. I use 2 decks, and I check the head and heart space for you of any questions you might have. And to book a personal reading right now, just go ahead to the link in my profile, and there is a support button, PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. And once you have paid, let me know, and I will answer your question for you. But for now, we're going into this next collective message. I asked, what is the energy of the connection right now? And I was referring to the connection between head and heart, which of course will express outside in our relationships with others. And what I received is the World card from, by the way, I'm using the Uncommon Tarot, which is a new deck that I just recently bought myself, and I do love this deck. And if you can't quite see it, here is a masculine energy. Now, very rare, we usually see a feminine energy associated with the World card, but we're actually seeing the masculine energy. We're seeing, of course, the world here in this mixed media image. There are butterflies, flowers, and we have all of the symbols of the 4 corners. There's a rooster, which is making me feel like the dawn of a new age. There is the ram's head and the lion. There's this beautiful flower here. This is a gorgeous image. Oh, and our music just returned with this card. I love this. So for some, something is over. A pattern, a cycle, a behavior, a state, a phase. The world turns and things have shifted and changed. And there is completion. This is the 21st card in the major arcana, which is the ending of the Fool's journey, the major steps the Fool takes along the spiritual journey. And the minor arcana now represents some of the minor things that are happening on a day-to-day basis, whereas this is a much larger spiritual context for the major arcana. So some major thing, some major cycle has closed or ended. And with that closing or ending is a blending of these different worlds. And in some cases, the masculine has closed out some kind of a cycle, a resistance to vulnerability perhaps, other partnerships, behaviors. And for others, there is closure from or in regards to a masculine energy, and a new beginning about to take place. Now, I asked, what is the energy of the divine masculine, and received the 10 of Cups. And this is joy and bliss and happiness and spiritual fulfillment. This is a feeling of being in union within. And once you experience this delight, this ecstasy of the divine, you're able to understand what it is that you truly desire that will make you happy here in the present moment. So the divine masculine energy feels good, is cherishing the divine feminine and the union within. The divine feminine surrendered some more. This morning, the overall message in that collective reading was, when I think I've surrendered, I surrender more. And the divine feminine has truly done that. And in this chariot energy, and in some way feeling really secure, because she has surrendered her ego's need to define what her happiness truly looks like. And when you do that, then you open yourself up to happiness you didn't even know you could express. And there is this alignment of the two parts of self, the head and the heart, and a pushing forward, a charging forward after a period of standing very still. So that's the energy for the collective right now. And I'm going to pull one of these white light oracle healing cards, and I'll actually take you through the meditation if you'd like to go through the meditation with me today. And after that, if anyone is wanting a paid reading, you can go ahead and click the link in my profile to find the PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App button, and send $11, $22, or $33 for 1, 2, or 3 position spreads. And then just let me know in the comment how much you sent and what your question is, so that I know how many cards to pull for you. Ooh, beautiful. We got the Aurora of Gamma. So I'm going to read this card. This deck has a lot of great messages in it, but it does have a lot of messages, so just know that before I start giving you all of them. Oh, I'm so glad. That's what I'm hoping happens, that you learn as much as I've been learning about myself and feeling happier and being in a better place. Oh, wow, this really goes with that World card, because it says, it is time to let go of what has been. You are swiftly outgrowing your past. Explore and commit to a spiritual practice that supports your personal transformation, so that you can cross the threshold before you now. Embrace your freedom to be creative in your approach, rather than doggedly committing yourself to your previous ideas or plans. You have the spiritual intelligence necessary to evolve. Continue your healing journey with trust that a positive outcome is imminent. Aurora is the Roman goddess of the dawn, the bringer of light and initiatrix of a new cycle or chapter in your life, which goes very well with the World card, as I said. She is the luminous dispeller of darkness, the flickering flame of hope in the heart that can burn into such a radiant holy fire that even the greatest challenges do not cause the soul to turn away in fear. Her presence in a reading signifies a fresh start and the overcoming of an old cycle. Gamma waves are high frequency, typically 40 hertz in humans, but extending to higher levels with hypergamma oscillating at around 100 hertz. It's actually low frequency. I don't know if it was meant to say low frequency because those are low frequencies, but whatever. Associated with spiritual insight and clarity, pure vision and breakthrough awareness, the gamma state is associated with high-level processing that leads to integration and evolution. With the gamma frequency, we transform knowledge into wisdom through application, into our ability to integrate information, and in doing so, are truly healed and transformed. As the world around us becomes increasingly complex, the capacity for superior processing is swiftly becoming necessary for the spiritual, emotional, psychological, and even physical well-being of humanity. There is a strong link between spiritual practices such as meditation and the production of gamma waves. When we experience a heightened state of spiritual awareness, an expansive sense of being, or a powerful connection with the universe or spirit, our brain is in gamma mode. Shifting our gray matter gears into gamma waves can facilitate the breaking up of stagnant modes of thinking and behaving. This is the sacred frequency of evolution. Humans are stuck in patterns, repeating the same stories, the same words, the same thoughts over and over, as though on a repeated loop. The soul can begin to wither within such constriction. What is needed is something new and increasingly alive, such as the life-stimulating grace of encounters with the unfamiliar. Connection to gamma waves can enhance our capacity to embrace the unfamiliar, and through that openness of being, constructive adaptation is enhanced. Our way of being becomes more fluid, responsive, and creative. We engage with our experiences and grow positively through how we respond to what is happening. Aurora of gamma indicates a shift into a new cycle, but also the presence of the light within, which is the creative light of spirit. Tuning into that light opens up options for living soulfully, away from the grip of ignorance, no longer constantly ensnared by the compelling but ultimately fraudulent conjurations of ego. Her new era is an inner transformation with positive external consequences. Trust in what your inner light is manifesting in your heart and in our world. And I think that's a beautiful energy for the collective to be in. So I'm going to take you through this meditation if you want to get comfortable and just get centered into your body, and I'll just give you a minute to be able to get into a comfortable position, either sitting or laying down, or if you're on a walk, just kind of being really present in your body. You might want to have some water next to you for when the meditation is over. And just as I'm saying that, the music is changing to a track called Theta Meditation at 5 hertz, which is very interesting. It is okay. So I'm just going to read through this meditation from the White Light Oracle by Elena Fairchild. Settle into a comfortable position and consciously connect with your breath as it flows in and out. When you are ready, close your eyes and relax. Focus on your breath, allowing it to become deeper and slower, perhaps even with a slight pause after inhalation. and a slight pause after exhalation. As you relax, the pauses may lengthen. Allow this to be natural and unforced. Your awareness can gently settle within the center of your brain. Let there be a soft light there, glowing, expanding, and bringing a sense of peace, openness, and relaxation into your brain. Rest here for as long as feels good. As your awareness gently settles within the center of your heart, let there be a soft light there, glowing, expanding, and bringing a sense of peace, openness, and relaxation into your heart. Rest here for as long as feels good. Your awareness then gently settles within your lower belly. There is a soft light there, glowing, expanding, and bringing a sense of peace, openness, and relaxation into your stomach, belly, and down to your root. Rest here for as long as feels good. These three lights align so that a soft bridge of light can form between them. The bridge rises, connecting the lower body to your heart and your heart to your brain. Let your awareness rest at the top of your head. Let there be light and stillness beneath any activity going on within or around you. Rest here for as long as you wish. When you are ready, begin to bring your awareness back to the outer surfaces of your body and the flow of your breath. Take as much time as you need to ground yourself and hydrate your body. You have completed your healing process. I hope that was good for those of you that had a chance to do that meditation. And I'm now opening up the floor. If anybody would like a paid reading, just let me know and I will tell you how to do it if you don't already know. It feels good to just be in my body, and it's funny how difficult it is for me to work that into my schedule lately. Just doing a meditation. It only takes a few minutes. Oh, I'm so glad that was peaceful. Oh, I'm just seeing that to stay calm and know that we deserve what we can give. Yes. I love that. That's beautiful energy. I'm really happy. Honestly, oh, look at that. I love when this happens. This is the way that, you know, it's the back of the cards, and then it's the card that's on the bottom too. The Beta of Spirit Wolf. And my little wolf is sleeping next to me. But I really feel that even if I just help one person to feel more calm, or to, you know, just not feel like they can't be who they want or do what they want, but have to hold back, and I just help them to open, then it's worth it what I do, because that, I feel you deserve that. 22 at 3:33 it just was on the clock, and it just changed to 3:34. So 22334. Today's been a nice day. I got to watch a show with my son while he ate his lunch that I was able to prepare for him. I got to do things that I haven't been able to do for him for a while, and it was really nice. And my brother got his new car today. He bought a used car, but he got his car today. He's very happy. And oh my gosh, there is this place. So I'm in northern New York, really close to the border of Canada, in the Thousand Islands region. I live in St. Lawrence River Valley in a small town. And yesterday we drove all the way to Massachusetts to pick up my son, which I was so thankful for. Those of you who purchased readings this weekend, you paid for my gas for the trip, and I was able to buy us some pizza from our favorite pizza place, and it was really fun. We had a great day. And we all got back late last night. But before my brother and I left this area, we stopped at this place in Philadelphia, New York, called the North Country Store. And they have all like handmade, like just incredible homemade foods and handmade products. And it's like just a gem. And they have new owners, but they've kept everything the same. And I bought these cinnamon rolls with maple icing. Oh my god, they are so good. Like, I took one bite of it and I was like, I'm sorry, I have never enjoyed a cinnamon roll that much. And it wasn't warmed up or anything. It was just a moment of silence for the amazing cinnamon rolls at the North Country Store. If you are in northern New York, you must go there. So the way that you do it is, if you would like a reading, you can either do $11, $22, or $33 or more, whatever you'd like to spend. And I will do 1, 2, or 3 position readings for you. You click the link in my profile, and you'll see there's a button that says support. That's PayPal. And then there underneath is written a Venmo and a Cash App button. If for some reason the PayPal is not giving you my actual address, I think I fixed it, but if that happens, my PayPal email is pearlandtheprayers, and the name for the Venmo and Cash App is Pearl's Prayers Like This. So hopefully that will help you. And just let me know what your question is and how much you intend to pay, so I know how many cards to shuffle for you. And thank you to those of you who book readings today. I'm saving up for my car payment and insurance, which is due by the end of the month, and I'm looking to finally purchase a desk and chair so that I can be a lot more comfortable. This is a broken chair, very broken, and I'm sitting at some kind of a dresser that looks like, I don't know, this used to be in my playroom when I was a kid, and it had toys in it. and it's like this big monstrosity. It doesn't have, like, my legs are just pressed up against it. It is not comfortable, but it's big. It fits all of my stuff, which is nice, but it is not meant to be sat at in a broken chair. Yes, the Venmo is Pearl's Prayers. That's correct. Thank you. Wow. I just did a collective reading with the card that just came out in the first position, so that's funny. It's not coming up. What happens when you click the link in my profile? It doesn't take you there? It should have a picture that looks like this. I don't know how else to describe it. I'm going to check the one in my profile here. It does come up for me. You can try pearlsprayers.com. You found it? Okay, cool. Yes, it's a business. That's why. That must be right. So when I click the link on my page, it does seem to open up my thing. I don't know why it doesn't work, but on my phone is weird. Sometimes the Venmo won't work either. So oh wow, thank you for the donation. So I'll do the 3-card spread for you, which is funny because I did get 3 cards. I started shuffling without knowing how much you were going to spend, and I already got that many positions in that space. And then I will do an additional oracle for you as well. So I'll do your 3 oracles, and then I'll add another oracle. And if you want to let me know the question you have, and go ahead and let me know in the comments here. The opening the third eye chakra sound healing is on right now. All right, so I just did a collective reading earlier before I did a little meditation for everyone, and 2 of the cards from that reading have come out in your reading from a completely different deck. So I know you're definitely part of the collective, and I knew you wanted a love reading based on the cards also too. What does my love like look like moving forward? Okay. I'm just getting your oracles for you. So I think you've been experiencing a lot of this, being told that things are going to get better somewhere down the line, kind of a thing, like having to wait for it to look better. There's I think that's been happening for you a lot based on the card that just came out. So I'm promising I'm not going to do that, so to speak. All right, and let's see, what do we want? We'll do shamanic medicine. And then because you did a $40 gift, which I really appreciate, I'm also going to do a white light oracle card for you. Which this deck is really healing, so excited to use it again. I just used it for a meditation for the collective. Alrighty, so let's see. All my books here, and let's get started. So this is what you think and feel about what your love like will look like moving forward. So this is if you continue to think and feel the same way, you can expect this type of an outcome, so to speak. That's how I read. So in the head space, we have the Ten of Pentacles. I love that. And in the heart space, we have the Page of Swords. I love that too. There's a few different layers I'm seeing here. Number one, just in general, you are thinking a lot about what makes up your material happiness. There's elements of abundance and prosperity and wealth there. And there is also a sense that you don't need to know exactly what it looks like to be happy, which opens you up to so much possibility. There's even more opening up here in the heart space with the Page of Swords, because the Page of Swords is curious about venturing outward, even though there are things to be afraid of. So there's bravery here. It's an intimidating feeling to go after what makes you happy, but not know exactly what it's going to look like. But your heart space is really feeling the bravery and courage needed to do that. So there's no fear or anxiety coming from your heart about 3:44 on the clock, finding stable foundation in relationships. I'm also seeing the potential for a person who is watching you, or you are watching someone else, but because there's a tentative aspect here. It's like really wanting to see something before we take that step. That's a message that's coming out for me, because there's a touch of the Fool energy in the positioning of this card. This is the Prisma Visions Tarot and the Mystic Mondays Tarot, also for those of you that want to know the decks I'm using. In the back of the mind, underlying all thoughts and decisions, we see an Empress in reverse and the Justice card in reverse. Now, I did a reading earlier today where these two cards were at play, and in that reading they were both upright. So here they are in reverse, and so there could be some lessons that are still being learned about the maternal energy in our lives. So this can be having a really overbearing or controlling type of a parent. Doesn't have to be feminine gendered. Honestly, it's just an overprotective, overbearing. Well, don't you think you would look better in this? Well, don't you think that you should drive this kind of car? Yeah, but well, don't you think that this career might be better for you? Well, don't you think? And it's that kind of an energy. It's like telling you what to think and feel. And it can come from our family, or it can just come from, kind of outside of us externally. Okay, there she is. Okay, so I have chills then. First, I want to acknowledge you for the difficulty of having a parent who we cannot disengage from because we're children. And when they engage in these behaviors, we have nothing but to love them, because that is how we survive. And so I just want to acknowledge that having had that type of an energy as a parent is very difficult. It causes a lot of wounds. And it makes us fear being this way, or sometimes it makes us attract partners who are like this. So it could have resulted in overbearing, controlling partners, or in you feeling you need to control all parameters of yourself or your life in some way to please this hovering energy that's always there with its own ideas and its own agenda, regardless of what your ideas and what your agendas might be. So this has been really unfair, and it's kind of underlying everything, because there's aspects of this relationship that make it difficult to know what your happiness will look like now. But you're overcoming this. You're overcoming the fear of carrying this baggage with you. And I feel like it's also created in you a certain amount of impatience. And that's bringing me to the out in the reading that I did just a little bit ago to tap into the collective energy. And I said, what's the most vital thing we need to know today? and we got the Seven of Pentacles, which was also in the reading that I had done for someone else today for a Tell Me Everything spread that I did as a private reading. And that had the theme of the Seven of Pentacles in it. And on the bottom of that card was written the word failure. And I talked about how often, even though we plant our seeds and tend to our garden, the weather can destroy our crops. There can be pests that can come and destroy our crops. And there is this idea that you can look at yourself as a failure for not being able to harvest what you desire at the time that you desired it, or you can look at outside circumstances as testing you, as creating this individual who is strong enough and smart enough to endure and to research why things are happening. For instance, if you do have crops and these pests come, and you have to then ask yourself, okay, how can I avoid this? Is there anything I'm doing right now that's encouraging this? And how can I discourage this in a way that's not going to harm myself and my family in the process and the land? And how can I discern how to prevent this outside energy from getting in and trying to get to my abundance? That's one thing that's coming up. The weather is something also out of our control. In that case, how can I accept that this divine intervention is somehow beneficial to me in the long run? Because I can choose to live in a state of impatience, frustration, and feeling like I have failed if I don't see the fruits that I intended. Or I can embrace that those fruits may look much different than I expected. It's like, what if you planted all of your seeds and you're expecting apples to come up, but you accidentally planted cherry trees and you can't quite figure out why there are no apples, and then suddenly there are cherries and you love cherries. Like, cherries are your favorite. You just planted apple seeds because you heard that that was what you were supposed to do. But now that you see the cherries, it's not what you thought or expected, but it's really amazing. And you're glad that it happened this way. So these are some of the lessons that you're learning in the Seven of Pentacles energy. And you do have control issues. I feel that. You, of course, the thing is, when we have a parent that's a narcissistic abuser, we're constantly living in a minefield where we have to be observing that parent, knowing when and where and how to do and be. And even that is not safe. Even the most innocent things sometimes can be nitpicked at or challenged. If someone doesn't know how to express their feelings in healthy ways, and they engage in somewhat childish behavior in front of us, it's very unpredictable, and there's no one in charge. When I got my, when I started to prepare my house and myself for my puppy, who is a very large white German Shepherd Husky, I got a book about how to deal with wolf dogs. And in that book, it says that they are pack animals and that you have to be firm. You have to eat first and they have to see you eat. You have to be really firm and not back down when you insist upon something. And you can even appear mean to certain people, or like if you give a treat for every single step that you take on a walk, it can seem like kind of silly to somebody that's watching you train the dog, and you just have to ignore it, because the second that your dog thinks that there is no pack leader, then they will assume that role, because they know that there has to be someone who is leading the pack in order for the pack to survive. So you grew up in an environment where after that control is pulled back somewhat and you start to have to make your own decisions, although depending on the parent, you might still have trouble doing that if they're overbearing even into adulthood, which happens to many people. There has to be this moment where somebody becomes the pack leader, and you will kind of whip yourself into submission of that role. So the Seven of Pentacles is being clarified by the Page of Cups. So I see here that you've really planted these seeds for emotional development and receiving some kind of a true love offer from someone who's very heart-centered. But this is the type of an energy that is like carving your name on a tree, right? And just being like, yeah. So, you know, so-and-so loves such and such. Forever it's carved on this tree, but I don't really have anything else other than that sentiment, right? So it's it's a sentimental energy that's very sweet, very romantic, but not very grown up. And so I feel that you've had to be really patient with somebody who's very much in their page energy. And this has been something that has required a lot of patience with you. Now that's likely you that has been in that page energy, but you've probably seen other people reflecting it back to you, and it might have been kind of irritating. It has caused you in this present energy to want to walk away towards something somewhat of a higher calling, because we are seeing the Six of Pentacles and the Judgment card in reverse. So you've wanted to walk away from this person that you just said it's him. And it's because of this feeling of an imbalanced, unfair, kind of miserly energy coming from him. And the Judgment card is, I think it was up. Now I can't remember if it was upright or in reverse, and I just turned it around. I think it was. That's interesting. I guess it doesn't matter. So this is something that's probably happened. You've probably forgiven him before for his lack of generosity, and then had to forgive him like again and again, which is probably, I'm like, I don't remember, was it up or down or up or down? So this is probably something that you've had to do before, and you're tired of it, and so you just kind of want to push off and head towards something better, something that suits you more, something that is more in alignment with your masculine and feminine energy. And I also feel that to a certain extent there is this void here that you may have been trying to fill by being overly generous with this person. Feeling like if I could just love this person enough, then, you know, they will give to me as much as I give to them, or then I will hear the apologies I need, or 355, or whatever that the case is. But there is an element here of never being able to fill that void with the other person's generosity. The void is coming from the first, like the overbearing, the mother energy here, the mother wound. So there is this desire to fill that wound, which is only really filled by feeling the pain of the wound. Usually doing that with, I really recommend doing that with licensed therapists or something. Or a spiritual counselor, or really, really close friends who understand and give you the space to be able to talk about those wounds and write about them and dig them out and heal them. And you probably have already done a lot of work with it. It's not something I feel it's foreign concept to you. But the real important part is that you have not been able to disengage from the woman who gave birth to you, right? You just can't, it just doesn't happen that easily. And so that has normalized this difficulty with disengaging with immature energy that's not really showing up in any significant way that would match where you're at in terms of your values and where you want to go. What I see coming from this energy is positive. It is the Temperance card upright, which suggests that imbalance with the Six of Pentacles in reverse, which is a minor thing that's happening on the outside, is really showing me a much larger thing that is an internal issue, a major spiritual issue that's fully healing on the inside. We have the divine energy that comes from the Temperance card that is healing some old karmic cycle. So you're experiencing healing of these wounds, which is very positive, because it's going to take what has been troublesome and difficult and like a lot of different emotions and you know, anger, sorrow, sadness, like boredom, excitement, all of those things being too much, being chaotic. It's going to start to calm you down, calm those things down, bring you this peace, which will allow you to be able to rebirth a new phase or a new cycle, like we were seeing coming out for the collective today, with the World card, which also came out as the card for this collective, and it was about a cycle ending and the rebirth happening, right? So ultimately, there's divine protection here that's helping you heal those wounds and close out any cycles with people who will match that energy. That energy will no longer be within you, so you will not be attracting either your person with the same wounds. They will have healed their wounds, or they won't be able to come forward at this point, or you will attract other energy that is already healed in this way, or is doing the healing, and you can heal together in that place, and learn those lessons together. So let's go now to your oracles. Interesting. The first oracle out for you, the card that made me say that I feel like you've been being told a lot, like, oh, sweet, the good stuff is coming. And I think from this reading, what I'm seeing is the good stuff is here, right? You have this Ten of Pentacles here, which is an awareness that you are open to just being happy, no matter what shape it takes in material form. And you are not being attached right now. You're being curious and brave and courageous. So the reward that you are seeking is really here, which is why this says sweet results await, but it was in reverse. But let me give you the message that comes out with this card. This is the number 7 card as well, which is a magical energy. This card says, when Bee Spirit comes as your protector, she asks you to be very honest with yourself. Do you want to taste the sweet honey others have been making but you believe is unattainable for you? Do you wonder how others ended up with so much magical honey when you seem to have none? Have you bought into the illusion of separation and become convinced that you can't have what others in the hive enjoy? Do you separate from the hive to do it all on your own, or to hoard what honey you have, unwilling to trust that there is plenty of support and plenty of sweetness to go around? If you have been overworking and overdoing and have not given yourself any time to enjoy the sweetness of your life, Bee Spirit is telling you to stop and recharge. Perhaps you're afraid that if you don't get something done, it just won't get done. However, even busy bees need to take a break, and when they do, the honey still gets made. So remind yourself that sweetness is everywhere and available to you always when you need it. So that is a beautiful message, because it's like I said, it's not like the sweetness awaits. It's available to you now in some way. This healing has taken place and the cycle is closing out where you're experiencing this underdeveloped energy. So the next thing that is here for you is to actually tap into the sweetness that is present for you now, which means there might be someone in your current network or your bubble. I'm seeing a bubble here. And or somewhere within your network very close to you that you aren't aware of right now, that is absolutely where you're going to feel that those wounds you've been healing are showing you the healing that you're seeing, that it's happening now for you. You're not waiting for it. It's here and present. And there's someone in the mix somewhere who is able to show you this right now. And if you're not very attached to the specifics, you'll be able to really intuit who it is. Your mindset that you need to cultivate is, I honor how I want to feel. So this is when someone asks you to do something, this is closing your eyes and asking yourself, how do I feel about doing this thing? Do I feel good about it? Do I feel bad about it? Do I feel guilty if I say no? Do I feel good if I say no? Is this a space that I can give myself? Is this time that I can give myself? Is this something that will allow me to tap into the sweetness that is present in this moment? Wow. I I just realized the card I got, and I shuffled that deck right in front of you, so it's incredible for the next couple cards. It's the last card that I got. But anyway, so this is you knowing that you get to choose how you want to feel. And each choice you make is the path towards better feelings. And you need to honor how you want to feel and not be so concerned about others outside of you. Also, thank you for following me, for those, and the likes that people are sending, and the roses. I appreciate that. Your shamanic medicine is the shapeshifter. Now you can see here either this bird spirit, or you can see the divine feminine who is tuning into her ability to shift into the crow energy. This is Bruja energy. And shamans have that ability to become the crow, or a bird, or a wolf, or a spirit. And this is a card that's about perspective. And it says, to understand a troubling situation in your life, see things from a totally different perspective. Shape-shifting helps you do this. By taking on the qualities of a power animal, you will see or hear what is being conveyed with clarity. Choose an animal that suits your current needs, such as a lion for strength, a dove for peace, a wolf for protection, or a raven to understand the bigger picture. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and focus on the animal's characteristics. Breathe them into your very being. As you continue, you will become one with your animal and be taken on a visual journey. At first, you may find it unsettling to feel the body and characteristics of the animal you have become. But do not fear. The insight and perspective of this animal will be of great benefit. A smooth transformation back into your own mind and body is assured. An understanding of how to resolve your dilemma will stay with you. Listen to and observe your thoughts carefully. List all the positive attributes about yourself and the world around you. Change negative words to positive ones. Be free with your compliments, gratitude, and praise. What you deem as right may not be so for another. The shapeshifter speaks and says, whichever form you choose to take, bear, butterfly, wolf, or snake, the medicine will speak to you of what it is you must now do. And the reason that I was like, oh wow, is I decided to pull a card for you from the White Light Oracle, which I did today for the collective, and this was the card I got. So I'm going to read you the first paragraph of it just to remind you of the energy, but we actually did the meditation for this reading today. So you're definitely like connected to this collective. I can send you this recording. It takes a while for it to upload because they're long, but I will send it to you. I will have to get it from TikTok, download it, and then I will send you a link. Please email me at the Gmail that's at Tuned In Tarot Gmail. It's on my website. I think if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, or if you just click on the contact button or something, or the about button, you'll find that email. But tunedintarot@gmail. Email me so that I have a place to send you the link, and then I will send you a link to this reading. Let me just remind myself to do it. Otherwise I'm gonna forget. But yes, I can do that for you, no problem. So I will read you this card. And what's really interesting is because I'm downloading it and sending it to you, you can do the meditation because I did the meditation with everybody before you booked your reading. So you'll get the whole meditation. But let me just read you the little paragraph that goes with it so that you can just kind of absorb this meaning of this card right now. It is time to let go of what has been. You are swiftly outgrowing your past. Explore and commit to a spiritual practice that supports your personal transformation so that you can cross the threshold before you now. Embrace your freedom to be creative in your approach, rather than doggedly committing yourself to your previous ideas or plans. You have the spiritual intelligence necessary to evolve. Continue your healing journey with trust that a positive outcome is imminent. Wow, I'm excited that you're going to get to see that actual whole meditation, since I wanted to give you that card because of your generosity. So thank you so very much for your trusting me to give you these messages, and for sharing your question in front of everybody, because while this was not a collective reading, while it was a personal reading, there are many messages I feel that came through that were beneficial for everyone here. So if anyone else would like a message, let me know now. And if I don't hear from you very soon, I'm going to bid you all adieu and go see how my son's room is going, because he's setting up his room right now. I'm so happy that you felt that. You're welcome, Jessica. I'm not answering free questions, but if you would like to pay for a reading, it is $11, $22, or $33. And I'm doing 1, 2, or 3 position spreads. And just let me know how much you paid in the comments and what your question is, and I'll be more than happy to answer that question for you. And we're listening to the 888 frequency, and after I close these decks here, I'm going to also just clear for the next person's questions. I decided I have to be more careful energetically on my live readings because I started having some paranormal activity in my room. Nothing scary, but just a reminder that I open up doors, pathways, and portals. And because I read for people, their spirit guides, their ancestors, etc., they come through. And I just want to make sure that they go home after we have our little chat. All right, there we go. Ooh, that always makes my crown pressure go. Whenever I use my selenite wand, I get like a feeling in my crown from it. It's kind of trippy. This is a weird thing to say, but it reminds me when I used to have to take opiates for a terrible back injury I had when I gave birth to my son. And I did not like taking opiates, but I took them for a couple of years and then finally went off of them. But the pressure that I get reminds me of when I would take opiates. And it's like this like expansion feeling, like this like throbby feeling I get. It's kind of interesting. All right, if no one else is going to book a reading right now, that is totally fine. I am probably going to close this up here, and I will pull a spirit animal oracle message for everybody to close out this reading today. What do we all need to know? What do we all need to know today? What will be helpful, beneficial for us to know? Rabbit Spirit's protection message. Now is a lucky time. Vulnerability is required of you now, even if you don't feel safe. Act as if you trust that you will be okay, and soon you will see that you are okay. To create is to take risks. So at this fortunate, fertile time, banish your fears and recognize the real security is in immersing yourself in the process of co-creation. It's okay to admit that you know how to deal with whatever it is in front of you. This is where curiosity and not knowing can be a wonderful state of mind. Be playful now, admitting you are at the beginning of something. Come on out to frolic in the sun's nurturing light because it's time to birth something new. And with that, I'm going to go play in the sun before it goes behind the clouds. I'm going to go take Bowie outside and enjoy that time with her. So thank you everybody who came to the collective reading. And if you would like personal readings, I shall be back tomorrow. I am going to be here tomorrow at about, I would say, around between 1 to 4 p.m. So you'll be able to catch me at that time. And I will be doing personal readings for $11, $22, or $33 that time. Plus, I'll be doing a collective reading. Also, if you're a member for $3.33 a month, you'll have access to the Tell Me Everything spread, which I'm doing in full tomorrow for members. So click the link in my profile for more details. Thanks again, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.